Welcome, my beautiful souls and my fellow Geminis. Today we are doing I'm calling it a special reading because I don't normally just do readings relating to finances, career, even creativity. I do life readings, which includes all that. But I've had a lot of people reach out and be like, oh, I wish you'd just do a reading for money. So, this month I'm doing money for all signs. Um, and I have to tell you, it's been looking really, really good. Of course, there's some like a little bit of hiccups here and there, but I feel like it's going to be really good for you, Gemini. We do have Mercury going to retrograde. We are ruled by Mercury. By the way, I'm a Virgo Sun, Gemini Moon. And this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, those who have planets in the sign of Gemini. Um, I know some of you are guided to the reading. I just know that now. And I know that through my spirit guides because I really put it in their hands. Like, I'll just be an open vessel for whatever Gemini needs to hear today and those guided. Um, and then I trust. Well, I know that my guides will connect with your guides. So whenever divine timing is for you, that's the right time. All right. So we're literally asking the universe, will Gemini be rich? I want to say this year, but I feel like a lot of people are like impatient for like waiting the whole year. So let's just say, how will your finances look moving forward? We have the full moon in Virgo, which is going to be a total lunar eclipse on the 14th, right around the corner. I feel like that's going to be very good energy for you. I really do. I feel like the one thing we want to remember, though, the one tendency Virgo has is overthinking. So try not to overthink. Try to go with what you're feeling. And let's go ahead and open up this reading. So I am going to bring Mother Mary in, and I'm actually going to start with Mother Mary. It's interesting for the majority of the signs I've done already. I haven't used Mother Mary. Um, but I just feel like she's been calling, like, why aren't you using me in your readings? So I hear the calling, and I'm going to answer it. All right, Gemini. Money, 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 money. Be strong. Be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. Pull myself up and do what needs to be done. I don't think I said that right. Um, it's interesting because the person or the sign that I just read for, oh, um, had you all through. It was Sagittarius, by the way. Um, had you all through it. And it's interesting because they got Be Strong. And their reading, though, I do want to make this money, finances, career, creativity. But love kind of seeped through also on theirs. And I just have to say, we have marriage also from Mother Mary. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Hmm. So, this may not be like, okay, we're going to get married this year, but I feel like what this is really talking about is commitments, true commitments, commitments to God, commitments to yourself. If you're in a partnerships, um, you know, like being true, but also being true to you. But we'll see why that came up. It'll let us know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. Not too much. And why can't I get these right? Okay. We're going to use the Universal Tarot for your main spread, and we'll use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. So let's move these off to the side, and let's begin. Um, Today is Sam and I's 5 year anniversary of when we moved in together. So I'm going to do your reading, and then I'm going to take the rest of the day off. But something told me to do your reading first, and if I feel like my spirit guides want me to do a reading, then I don't. I feel like I keep getting pushed. You know what I mean? Like, it just gnaws at me. So it's almost like I have to do the reading. That means there's a reason. So that makes me excited to do your reading. All right. Yeah, you were all through Sagittarius's reading. Oh my gosh, Gemini. Beautiful. Your first card, the Nine of Pentacles. The meaning of this card is successful self-employment. It is the card of Virgo, who you share Mercury with. This is seeing the fruits of your labor also. If you haven't, let's say that you've already started something, but you're really not seeing the fruits of your labor yet. I have a feeling they're right around the corner. I also feel for some of you, you may be questioning whether you want to, like, maybe you want to start a business, but you've been questioning, like, when is the right time? Well, this is a 9, so represents this year. We're in the universal year 9. That is a great omen. This is where you're feeling independent. Doesn't have to mean you're alone. You just know that you can take care of yourself. And I just feel like when you know that you can take care of you, everything else in your life kind of has to measure up to that. You know what I mean? Like once you reach a certain status, I don't see you backing down. There's a little birdie like whispering to her. It's almost like giving you epiphanies from your spiritual team, helping to guide you. I mean, wow. The first card, success. Now it is, whoa. Um, 4 swords. Some of you, I'm telling you, you're natural healers. And it feels like for some of you, this is what you're doing. You're helping others to heal. And then we have, the Ace of Wands. Be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. Ace of Wands, action oriented, passion, desirable. It's go time. I just want to say if you use healing in your business in any way, boy, is this backing you up. Like, really, success. You do have to put in the work. You probably had to go through these experiences yourself because I feel like the best healers are the ones who have been there, understand what someone's going through. Wow. Now I know why it was important I do this reading today. Three of Wands, optimism. Jeez. This is someone who knows that living in the present moment is really a must, especially if I want this guidance. The Three of Wands, this person is just handing it out to the universe, saying that I know my ships will come in, and I know that they're going to come in divine timing, but it's keeping an optimistic lens. It's looking at your future and thinking of all that can be and not all that can't be. That makes sense? So here is this Ace of Wands, action oriented. Then we move into the Three of Wands. We could have moved into the two, but we moved into the three. Oh my gosh, look at this. 10 of Cups. If you're working from home, wow. That's a house of harmony. It is a house of love. Um, and let's say, because we do have a 9 above it, I could be single. But if I'm working from home, I feel like it really fulfills you. I feel like this is giving you, like, what you're doing or what you're about to do. I feel like, will it make you rich? I hope so. But I know one way it's going to make you rich, and it's the way you feel. Like, when you help another, it makes you feel good. And that is part of the payback, so to speak, or the reward. All right, well, let's keep going. I'm telling you, the Nine of Pentacles above the Ten of Cups. If you are working from home, I feel like, and I shouldn't just say from home, but I do, there's something going on in the home that's relating also to your money. We have the King of Swords. King of Swords. Under the Four of Swords. Okay. Could be you. Male or female. Because what I want you to remember is that we're all masculine and feminine energy. We all have light and dark. Can be you, but we'll see. We have the Death card. So the Death card is about transformation. It's a rebirth. It is the closing out of the old and welcoming in the new. It can speak about a door that has closed, but maybe that door needed to close. And I feel like if, let's say, you had said, like, this is it, I'm closing this door, I'm done, well, then immediately you're inspired to move forward and not look back. The only reason you'd be looking back is to extract the wisdom that you already possess. But maybe you need to remind yourself. We have beautiful, the Eight of Pentacles. And then, oh my gosh, the Seven of Pentacles. So we have the 7, the 8, and the 9 of Pentacles. Really beautiful. Okay. First of all, the first thing I want to say is the 7 of Pentacles mirroring the 9 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Because in the 7 of Pentacles, this really is like your tree of life. These pentacles, these are yours. These are your intentions. The first message with the 7 of Pentacles is patience. And that's to allow these seeds to come to fruition. That's why I often call it like an apple tree. I'm not going to pick an apple until it's ripe. Well, there's some apples coming ripe. And to me, this means that it's meant to be. This means whatever you're doing, I already know you're going to be successful at it. Some of these seeds could have been predestined, planted before you even came into this lifetime. And you may start to feel that, like, oh, I feel this calling. Maybe I feel this calling to help others. And I know many of you do. And then before that is the Eight of Pentacles. So some of you, this is new. Um, and the meaning of this card is the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, but knowing that you're going to learn as you go and one day be the master teacher. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a teacher, but you know what I mean. This is someone who is focusing on their money, their craft. I feel like saying their craft because it looks like they're making something that they're later going to sell. So, eight, also a new beginning. Optimistic about this new beginning. And I'm saying a new beginning. Some of you may have already moved into this energy and you may be looking for confirmation of, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Your answer is yes. Okay. Keep going. I want to know just a little bit more about this king. And the reason why I'm saying that is the death card's right next to him. The Nine of Pentacles opens up the reading, and I often do feel like that is singular energy. Um, okay. So I guess what I was getting to is it feels like this king is someone who maybe is not coming along for the ride. We have the Ten of Wands under that. Now, this king could be an old boss, you know, could certainly be someone that you loved. And I'm saying loved because I don't feel like this king is moving forward. Um, let's see what else we have here. Look at this, the Seven of Swords. Okay. So, interesting. So, everything on this table is so beautiful. There's only one element that I feel like could come between you and your happiness. And I do feel like it's this King of Swords. Now, this King of Swords, it doesn't have to be an air sign. It could be anyone. I'm looking at him and he looks aggressive, like his sword is up. But he looks angry. You know what I mean? He just looks angry. And I don't know, maybe he's a narcissist. And I feel like that's what the death card is saying. And then you get the Seven of Swords. So, there's untrustworthy energy. And not just that, but the Ten of Wands means that all the responsibility of something was put on your shoulders. So let's say this is a boss. I feel like you're taking your wisdom, your experiences, and you're doing your own thing because something happened. Something happened. Someone became untrustworthy. It's like someone coming in between you and your money. But it kind of feels like, as I say, money, it kind of feels like a dream at the same time. And I mean a dream at, okay, that doesn't go. I was going to say 77. That could be a clue. But actually, a 10 comes in between. So, I had a feeling. Let me just grab a drink real quick. I just had a feeling there was something a little off with this king. And it makes me feel like you're giving yourself a new beginning, really in your whole life. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of you are becoming single or you are single. And maybe part of what you're healing from is this person's energy, which again, I feel like communication probably was terrible. Um, this person feels aggressive. This person feels like they don't take responsibility for their own actions. Like, I'll tell you what you want to hear, but that doesn't mean it's the truth. And it's probably been something that's happened their whole lives. Like, I'll tell you what you want to hear. Hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry. Sam knocked at the door. Um, so anyway, I hate to give this king a bad rap, but I feel like it's audios. And probably some of you have already done this, like, you left someone, whether it be a boss, or we do have the marriage card, or it be a love. Um, Again, I just feel the aggressiveness of this king, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. Um, okay, let's keep going though. So we have one bad egg in really a beautiful reading. This feels like it's saying, trust in you, trust in your abilities, trust that you can create wealth for yourself. I mean, it's very clear. I feel like don't look back with regret, even if you like found yourself with a narcissist, because I do feel like you're going to be using that energy. First of all, I feel like you heal from it as much as you can. It's hard to heal from a narcissist because it's just like it's a mind game, um, that only one is playing. You know what I mean? But it's certainly possible. And I feel like once you have been around narcissistic type energy, it's very easy for you to then feel it, see it, point it out before it ever has a chance to interrupt what feels like your future wealth. Okay, Ten of Swords, dang. I'm saying dang. um, but here's the thing. This king, who does have the death card, and yes, that could certainly mean like it's a guide, but I don't feel that. And I usually feel that very clearly. This definitely feels, now with the Ten of Swords, this could have been someone that you like were in a repeat pattern with, together and then not together, together and not together. It again feels like you, if it wasn't for you, there would have been no relationship, period. This Ten of Swords, it's you who took sword after sword in your back. But here's the thing, what's mirroring the Ten of Swords is now the Three of Wands. And that's why I feel like for the majority of you, this is old energy. Probably not that old, but let's just say yesterday's news. Because your perspective is changing. Your belief within yourself is growing. And your spiritual team knows that. I feel like clearing of that old energy, it was difficult, but you did it. Again, it doesn't mean like I'm completely healed. It can take a long time to heal, but I feel like you're not in that waiting mode. You're not in that, I hope, anyways. You're not like hoping that this person comes back around because in the Ten of Swords, that is a repeat pattern. And they can come back around, especially with Venus going into retrograde. But I don't feel like this would be good for you. I just don't. I feel like you'll end up in the same place. And I feel like you are on like this new journey. And I pray and hope that you don't let anyone come in between that. You have the Ten of Cups. So even though this king feels like it's being eclipsed out, the Ten of Cups still remains. Okay. It's on the bottom of the deck. The Six of Pentacles. Beautiful. Empathetic, caring, compassionate, a giver, sometimes to a fault. This is about learning that fine art of give and take. It's fine to give, um, and not expect to receive when I'm helping people, helping them to overcome. I don't really expect anything in return. It just makes me feel good that they now feel good. Yet, I do feel like this is what you're doing for a living, so money will be part of it, but I don't feel like that is the reason why I do it. Yes, I need to make money. It's like when I do tarot. I love doing tarot. I love helping. And something else I want to say real quick is I was thinking about this earlier this morning. When let's just say 2 years ago, we used to get like the Eight of Swords all the time. We used to get the difficult cards all the time. What I've noticed is we're getting them less and less and less. Why is that? It's because of you. It's because of your realizations. It's because you're growing leaps and bounds. It's because you're connecting to your spirituality probably like never before. And I am seeing the growth within you all. And I don't know, like all of a sudden I feel like crying, but tears of joy. Like I feel so proud of you all. And I'm telling you, like I was really reflecting upon that. Like, how did I not catch that earlier? Like you are all evolving. And I feel like as you evolve, you just know certain energy is not going to mix with what it is you want to produce in the world. And this king is one of them. And again, it can be male or female. It's a female, she's being super aggressive. But let's just not talk about that anymore. Let's go back to the positive things. Okay. I do feel like the majority of you are, at least in the Three of Wands, living more in that present moment energy. And if anybody's still, back, let's say, with around aggressive energy, this is showing you that, listen, I feel like some of the reasons why we stay in difficult energy is because change is hard, right? Like, I don't know what's going to happen next. How do I know I don't end up right back in the same place? Well, you don't. You don't end up back in the same place. Um, and I feel like you're gaining your independence like never before. I don't feel like whoever I have here is unhappy. to have the independence of the Nine of Pentacles. And who knows, maybe if I had stayed with that king or queen, maybe I never would have done this. Maybe I never would have gone this direction. And I swear that, especially with the Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, it's staying compassionate, it's staying empathetic, it's staying your true self. Even if someone else tried to beat it out of you, you won't be successful, your ideas won't work, I feel like you got to look at the source. Like, who are they? What do they know? And why would they think they know more than me? Okay. We have the Knight of Wands. Nice. Passion. Rushing in. Coming over the Nine of Pentacles, very passionate about what you do. And you're sharing it. That's what it feels like with this night. It feels like you're sharing this passion. You're sharing your passion. It's also fast moving energy. And I like that coming over your money, right? Like making money faster than you even thought possible. The Three of Cups, energy of joy. It's a reason to celebrate. Some of you, I feel like you're celebrating being single, but I also feel like this is about celebrating your worth, what you're creating. Even if you're just beginning, like in the Eight of Pentacles, it's all you need. Just need to begin. Especially because I feel like a lot of this energy kind of feels predestined. And if it is predestined, then understand that I know a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but it is those difficult experiences that I do feel like you're going to use. So I do feel like you're healing. I feel joy is coming back to you. And I feel like one of the things you're doing is you are concentrating on you. Three of Cups means there's going to be a reason to celebrate. The other three in that line is the Three of Wands, optimism. We have justice. So justice is about fairness, balance. What's fair and just in the world? What's fair and just in your world? Often feel when justice comes out that there is a little bit of unbalance. And that's really what the Six of Pentacles is about. Look at that. Five of Swords underneath that. Five of Cups underneath that. Jeez. So, you know, what's causing me to be unbalanced? Justice is the sword of justice, I feel, is a gift that we're given as humans, to use to cut away what's no longer serving us. It is something we have to get used to doing. Just think of we're in a universal year 9, right? This is the last year to a 9-year cycle. You're beginning anew. Actually, 2026 is going to be the year of the magician. Wow. Let's get ready and let's just clean house and find true balance. And that's what you're doing when you use this sword. And I feel like the sword's being used on this king. So, but what does it do when you use that sword? It immediately balances you. Justice is about making you whole again. Coming over the Ace of Wands may just you may still have a little bit of remnants of the past. But the Ace of Wands, again, is moving you on a new direction, a new path. It's like bye-bye to the old and hello to the new. Also card of Libra, by the way. But I have to say, I don't love the justice is, well, I mean, it makes sense. You have justice mirroring the Seven of Swords, which again is untrustworthy energy. They call this card the thief in the night. You know, just someone who takes more than their fair share, gives less than everyone else. All right. We have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. And then we have the King of Swords again. Two different kings. So the King of Swords coming over this Ten of Cups. Okay. Well, some could read this, and I definitely want you to pay attention to your own intuition. Some could certainly read that as someone who's meant to be, right? Coming over the Ten of Cups. But I feel like what it's saying is it's doubling down on the fact that this king is being eclipsed out. And I don't know. We have another king up here. King of Pentacles can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And again, I'm trying to keep this a money reading, but it's typical Gemini that love it trying to sneak in. But let's see. Let's keep going. I may come back and take a few cards over that King of Pentacles because he's sitting over optimistic energy. Like, he may be one of those ships that have yet to come in. We have the Page of Swords over the King of Swords. And then we have Temperance. Wow. It's almost like Divine has been waiting for this one particular action. Why? Because the two just wouldn't mix well. You know, I feel that you're happy. I feel you have the potential to be very happy. I feel like your creative house is just going to be singing. And I feel like your ability to create is tremendous. Really tremendous. Like, again, I feel so proud of you guys. So, Temperance. She's another message of patience, like the Seven of Pentacles down here also is. But this is about trusting in divine timing. Now, she's coming over the Death card, so the closing of one chapter, so a new one can open. Literally, you have an 8 next to that, which is about a new beginning. So, trusting in divine timing. But I do feel like sometimes divine is waiting on us. And you know why? Because I feel like you are going to make a lot of money. And I feel like you are going to love what you do. And I feel like if this other person was part of it, their hands would be out. Like, gimme, gimme, gimme. But yet at the same time, I don't feel there would be support of what you do. If anything, I think it would take that happy mood, that happiness, that joy that creating brings you, and it would add, I don't even know what word to use. It would just take that joy away. It would make you not trust yourself, where I feel like this is saying trust. You trust within yourself, trust within your abilities. Know that you can, like, really create this success for yourself. I love this if you have your own business. This means real success. But you don't have to have your own business. You could be certainly, like, all of a sudden I got a vision of someone who is working at a company, but I feel like you are like a self contractor, so to speak. I feel like you're a massage therapist or a Reiki master. Like you go in and you work on clients, but I don't feel like that, like where I'm at is like my only gig type of thing. Something is telling me also to like promote your work. And why am I saying that? Well, I feel that there's going to be some who are going to have, let me give you an example. When I started doing tarot so many years ago, I knew nothing about tarot. I didn't know any of the meanings. I knew nothing. But I started anyway. I tried to like read books and it's just like I couldn't comprehend it. I have to do it to learn. That's just the type of learner I am. Um, and I remember like a lot of times I wouldn't put videos out because I think, I didn't love that one, or I don't think that people will really enjoy that one. And then one day I was like, you know what? It's too much work to like do a reading and then not to release it. So I just had to trust in divine and in divine timing that whoever it's meant for, that they will find it. And that's exactly what happened. And I have to tell you, the videos that I thought I wasn't going to put out and then decided to put out, they would end up being like my number one videos. And from that day on, I no longer censor myself when it comes to tarot at all. I know some of you wish I did, but I don't. All right. Anyway, death card again. By the way, a card is Scorpio. Could be an old job that came to an end. Hmm. It's interesting because now I do feel like there is a guide. Um, and I want to say that I feel like this guide, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of you already know, and I know it's going to be different for different people, but again, my spiritual team connects to your spiritual team. So I feel like the person who is stepping forward probably had the most knowledge as it relates to money, how to make money, how to grow that money. And I feel like they're now here helping to guide that also, to guide you to independence, really. I feel like you have someone special who is saying, just do it, my dear. Just begin, my dear. Just begin. Well, hello, devil in reverse. I like that. Okay, so first of all, it is card of Capricorn. Um, but the devil talks about temptations. Coming right under that King of Swords. I mean, come on. This King of Swords is really taking a bad rap in this reading, but boy, I kind of feel like he deserves it. It's interesting because it's mirroring the Ten of Swords right now. And that is where you've taken sword after sword in your back. Again, a repeat pattern, temptation probably kept trying to pull you back. But now I feel like that power is gone. That temptation is gone. The devil is great at casting illusions, and they're not good illusions. They're illusions of feeling stuck, of feeling worthless, but they're all lies. It's an illusion. But that illusion has been broken. And again, I feel proud. It's like you're my children, and I feel so proud of each and every one of you. And I want to say also that let's say that I'm looking at the Three of Cups over the Four of Swords. So let's say that you had, let's say you drank more than you knew you should, but mainly because of who you were with. Like they were big drinkers, or maybe it's your friends, and I do feel like it came in between like your potential. Um, but here's the thing. Again, with the devil reversed, I feel that temptation is also gone. So you may have really cleaned house. You may have even looked at friends, family, um, who's going to help me succeed? And I don't mean this in an egotistical way, but I feel like you're feeling this calling. And, it's almost like you're having a spiritual awakening because I feel like you're seeing the truth to the point where you can no longer deny it. But that's a good thing. Don't forget, justice is about making you whole again. And it's coming right above temperance, divine. Well, so the devil, which let's just say the dark, is now met by the light. This is the Hierophant. It's a number 5. So it does speak a change, but I kind of knew that anyways. Look how illuminated, looks like the Pope. Look how illuminated he is. The Hierophant, when you see it, it's asking you to ask yourself a couple questions. Are you living life according to your terms, your beliefs, your morals? Have you lowered your morals to be with another? You know, um, it's just true realizations, but you're looking at it from the light. Like the dark, I feel like it can't touch you any longer. And now you're moving really into the light. So here's that change. And it's coming over the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, it certainly can talk about someone putting, because I can't help but feel there was a relationship here. And I really don't like this person. I hate to say that, but I don't like this person because I feel like they just couldn't give you, well, didn't give you what it is that they should have given you. But you did need to come to that realization. Like nobody could force you to close this door. Though I do feel like your spirit guides are definitely probably nudging you and nudging you, sending red flags. And a lot of times we ignore those red flags. Well, they'll send them again. They'll make them bigger and badder. But this is so you can get on to live in your life, right? And I love that this is talking about the light mirrored by the healing, divine healing. Oh, that was my chair. Also card of Taurus, by the way. Capricorn, Taurus. So your Capricorn, Taurus, I don't know if I gave any signs. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, same. And then Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have Taurus right here. This Taurus could be someone who's coming in. Libra, Virgo, and that's all I can see right now. All right, let's keep going. Hello, Ace of Cups. And the Strength card. So now we have Leo on the board also. First of all, I feel like this is twofold. I feel like you did love someone, and I just don't feel like they were your person. And I know that sucks, when you think someone is your person. And it doesn't mean that because I do feel like they had a place in your life. And they were there to teach you, they could be like a karmic soulmate. And they were truly there to teach you. And I feel like karmic soulmates are teaching us through resistance. And I feel like sometimes the lesson is simply not to take it, but it can take time because I feel like there was love. I don't feel like there still is love, or it doesn't feel real. Let's put it this way. But I do want to say that I feel like this is also talking about your future. Look at the moon cycles above it. Hmm. And then the strength card looking right at that ace. So the strength card's really about our inner demons, so to speak. It is mirroring the devil, temptations. And I do feel like it is the things that you've overcome. But here's the thing with the strength card, it's about finding inner balance. And that's what justice is here to help you also find. It does have to come through your human action. It is an eight, so it's also about a new beginning, but it's also divine's help. So I feel like the things that I was once tempted to of lower vibrational energy, I'm not any longer. And this becomes your courage that no one can take away from you. This is your power. Like, this is your power. So, as much as I'm trying to keep this just about money, I just feel like love also wants to be a part of it. So I'm not going to stop it. I haven't, a few of them, but I just have a feeling I'm meant to talk about it. And I feel like this King of Pentacles, male or female, by the way, could be a Virgo, could be a Taurus, but it doesn't have to be any of that. Let me tell you what I feel. If this king is related to love, then I feel like this is saying that this is someone who will be loyal. This is someone who's grounded. This is someone who makes their own money, so their hands won't be out like gimme, gimme, gimme as you're making money. This is someone I feel like would support you. So, with all that being said, let's go up and look closer at this king. So I'm looking at the King of Pentacles. All right, so we have the Page of Wands, who is like my fool, my little risk taker. Um, what I love about the Page of Wands is it is someone who takes risk in life. And no, not all of them pay off. But this is someone who, I'm not going to say immediately, but they get back up again, right? And they take another risk. They take another chance. They don't accept that this is it. This is it. Uh-uh. And I feel like this is saying that it's you who may have to take this leap of faith. Look at this, the world. Okay. So whoever this king is, he's coming along for the ride. Where there's one king being eclipsed, another king is, well, he's going to be part of this journey. I love the world's energy for a few different reasons. I feel like when we see the world, it definitely signifies the next chapter. But to me, it's you walking hand in hand with divine now. It's like they're right beside you. You know that you can ask for their guidance at any time and you'll receive it. This is when the cobwebs have been cleared. So you're easily able to pick up on the signs. But this definitely feels like a sign to me right now. Five of Wands. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I'm just looking, like I'm thinking Five of Wands doesn't really fit because that's a lot of drama. It's drama field. It's where nobody wants to back down. And I'm thinking that doesn't fit with this king. And I look over to see what's mirroring it, and it's that King of Swords. So again, the drama. And being careful not to get pulled into it. I feel like the world's chapter is opening because you have made these changes. And if you haven't yet, but you know that you want to, this is still available to you. Yes, it does feel like this is the perfect time to really think about your creativity, to really put those plans into action. Um, just trust that the rest of us, you know, that we're going to support you. And by the way, if you have a YouTube channel, a website, anything like that, definitely share it with us. If you share a link, it does hold it back, but I'll go ahead and release it um, because we want to support you. Okay, so let's come down and look at the Ace of Cups. I feel like when you're really in that Nine of Pentacles energy, which means that you're really focusing on your craft, on what you're building. I feel like it helps take away the worries of the world because you're really focusing on you, on what you're doing, and you're honing it. You're honing your craft. All right. I don't know what made me stop and say that all of a sudden. Queen of Swords. Interesting. Interesting. Because the Queen of Swords coming over the Ace of Cups. The King of Swords, I feel like is going bye-bye. This Queen of Swords, it's like she is speaking her piece, right? But she's got these beautiful white doves around her. So what she's speaking is truth, right? It's coming from the purity of her heart. But I feel like, but I'm also stating that, you know, I'm not going to take someone's bullshit any longer. Anybody's. I'm going to do my thing. Some of you, it's like your voice has been shut down, and now it's like your throat chakra has been activated. Interesting. I've been trying to do a few different meditations. Well, I've been doing quite a few, but to help you. And they really do work. And when I say meditation, it doesn't mean like I'm not doing like hours. Um, it's just different tones to help activate certain chakras. I literally just put one out today, which is the tone of pure love. It's only 5 minutes long, but they work. And maybe that's why I did it right before your reading. Interesting. Because I wasn't even going to release it. I was like, let's wait until we do all the money readings and then I'll release it. But something's like, no, put it out now. Maybe it's so you could watch it. Again, it's only 5 minutes long. I'm not trying to promote my video, but it just makes sense here because I feel like this queen, that's what she's looking for, purity. I feel like this king can offer that. You know, whether you accept it or not, you don't have to accept everything. You know, I feel like the ball is always put in your court. You can say yes or no. Um, and even the strength card looking back at love, I could see where like I'm shutting down the avenue of love for a while and I'm going to concentrate on me and my craft. And that feels like the right thing. So this king could be someone who's unexpected, especially sitting over the Three of Wands, right? It's like someone who's living in the present moment, just what our spiritual team asks of us, because that's where our signs are sent. And this person is literally saying to divine, I trust that my ships will come in and I trust that they're going to come in divine timing. Well, I could see where your craft seems to want to be first. You know what I mean? Like at least the groundwork of it. Because I do feel like that's the direction you're meant to go, or the direction I feel like is going to bring you real happiness, but also real money. Do you know what I mean? Like you need money to live. Okay. I'm not even going to overthink that because that's what I feel. All right. Let's do interesting. I'm like, we have the Three of Wands again. How can that be? A different deck. Look at that. Three of Wands mirroring the Three of Wands. The world. It literally looks like two people are in the energy of the Three of Wands. Two people are trusting in divine. That makes me feel really good about this king because I feel like this is someone who understands spirituality. Doesn't mean like, I walk around, talk about spirituality, though he might. Could definitely be doing similar work as you, and that may be how you end up meeting each other. And dang it, why do we keep going to love? Gemini. Um, hmm. It's so dang clear, I don't know what I want to look at. Let's go over the Nine of Pentacles. It's got the beautiful Knight of Wands over there, and that means passion rushing in. And coming over the Nine of Wands, that's ideas, that's epiphanies. Those are things that are going to help you to succeed. Look at this, the Knight of Cups in reverse. Just like I said, I feel like first, I'm concentrating on my money, on my business, on my craft. I'm not saying I'll never fall in love again or I'll never welcome it because I feel like the Knight of Cups, it's in reverse because you're meant to work on a certain area. It does kind of feel like this is the right time to bring something to the world. And by the way, When I see the Nine of Pentacles, like it can be an existing business with different avenues that you've added. Like I do tarot, right? And then I started doing meditations, making films and videos, learning all about that. And now I started podcast. So it's all, you know, one main channel, but it's different avenues that I am expanding in. And I am following exactly what I'm feeling. And that's kind of what I'm feeling for you, which makes sense because, I do have a Gemini moon. So, love, it's on the table, but it's also in divine timing. It's almost like if this love came in before its time, again, would it play a role in maybe you not succeeding as much as I can see that you can? I don't know if that made sense, but to me, that's another great omen. I know it's in reversed or reverse, but I don't feel like that stops it from coming in. The Knight of Cups is about an unexpected couple fulfillment. Maybe some of you do expect it. Maybe you already know. Maybe you have someone in mind. But again, I feel like what your spiritual team is saying, it's fine to fall in love. And yes, we know you want great love in your life. But right now, I feel it's more important that you be true to yourself. You do the things that maybe you haven't had the opportunity to do, and now you do. Because I really feel like it's going to bring you joy. And I feel like you deserve it. Let's take one more after that night. Two of Pentacles. Well, that makes sense. Two Pentacles they call the Juggler's card. I could see that here. Like, I'm so busy doing my thing, and I really fit love into the picture. I feel like it's about using one's logical mind, though. But it does show you that the ball's in your court. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Interesting. The first thing I felt is this love. I'm going to say new love. Some of you may already know who it is because you already may have your sights set on someone. Um, but what I'm feeling is the similarities of your lives, your experiences, and what each of you have overcome. Seven of Wands to me, it is about standing one's ground. But I'm picking it up more as the helping energy. We have 777. I want to take one more after that. Or actually, I want to go right below that. I don't know why I'm making your readings so long, but I'm into it. So that Seven of Swords in reverse. Well, that makes sense. Because that's the last thing you want as it relates to love. Someone I can't trust. Been there, done that. Someone who lies. Been there, don't want it again. I felt that with this king. almost immediately the loyalty. So that Seven of Swords in reverse, it makes perfect sense. Also, here's the Hierophant right there, the light of the Hierophant. I feel like there's nothing to worry about with this king, quite the opposite. And I feel like I've gotten off track, but I have a feeling that's just the way it was meant to be. Gemini's like, you trying to give me just a money reading without love? Hmm. All right, I'm going to pick this up. Let's pick all these extras up. That way I can see if there's anything else we need to clarify. I think this was an extra also. Um, let's look right at divine. Well, that didn't take long. Headless soulmate. Soulmates. You know, how beautiful that that's coming under divine's energy, who talks about divine timing. Like, you don't even have to worry about it. It is soulmate energy. And yeah, I do feel like for some of you, that King of Swords, and again, it doesn't have to be an air sign, but I do feel the aggressiveness. I feel like terrible communication from this person. Um, Certainly could have been a karmic soulmate. And by the way, don't regret like going through that energy, especially if you have learned from it. Because if it is a karmic soulmate, that means you've paid that karma off for eternity. And I feel like when we pay off karma, we're really helping future generations who follow. But anyways, Temperance is like, I have a soulmate in mind for you in divine timing, and you don't even have to worry about it. You just do your thing. I'll do my thing. Okay. Interesting. Page of Pentacles. First thing I felt is it ties back to that king. Some of you already know who this king is. We have the Queen of Cups. God, she's got that cup in her hand. So she's receiving that cup. And then the Six of Wands, victory, victory and success. You know, first of all, as it relates to your money, your craft, let's say, this is an energy where other people are looking up to you. And they're looking up to you because of the action steps that you've taken. Like, how did you reach this success? How did you leave that narcissist that come to you? And I love that this is also under divine's energy. I said it many times where I feel like the healers of the world, healers, Healers. I spell it out because I know with the way I talk, sometimes it doesn't sound like healers. But I feel like the healers of the world are definitely being called into action this year. It's just the way it is. It's already happening. There's going to be a lot of spiritual awakenings. And this makes me feel, well, it makes me feel so good because I feel like what you're doing, divine is saying that the right people will find you, reach out to you. It's almost like you don't have to worry about that. Like, you do your thing and watch divine take care of everything else. Yes, you do have to put in the work, but I swear to God, it feels like, yes, it's work, but it's work that you love, and then victory. But listen, we're also looking at what temperance is. Well, I know why she's here. And part of it is, it's like that Knight of Cups that came in reverse. It does feel like love right now is meant to be on the back burner. I don't feel like it's for long, though. I think what you can ask yourself is, where are you at in the process of creating? You know, um, if you're starting something new in the Eight of Pentacles, again, the Nine of Pentacles will tell you you'll have success as long as you put your focus on it. And I feel like right now, that's what's going on. Like your focus needs to be more on your financial house because of the ability you have to create true wealth for yourself. And then I feel like love will come in. And I do feel like some of you know who this person is. And that kind of, I felt that with the Knight of Cups in reverse, which is an unexpected couple fulfillment. But in reverse, it's almost expected. I could see some of you like going back, who knows? Maybe you are divorcing or at least breaking up with someone, and maybe it's you that's moving. Maybe you're going back to like a hometown, or it could be the other way around. This king is cutting ties with someone and he's moving somewhere where you live. The thing is, we don't even have to worry about it. All we need to do is try to stay as optimistic as possible, take those action steps through the Ace of Wands. But remember, that Ace of Wands, yes, it's action, but it's passion. And then the Knight of Wands coming right over the Nine of Pentacles. That knight brings in passion. And I definitely feel like it's saying like your money will just come to you faster and faster and faster. Like if you're starting a business, it's going to take off. If you have a business, you may be adding new avenues in and it's going to take off. So I feel like money is in your favor. Love is in your favor. It wasn't. I mean, Empress is saying, we have a soulmate, your soulmate, not this person. Again, it kind of feels, because it feels that difficult, like it was a karmic soulmate. But this king feels like a soulmate of a lifetime. And let's not forget that the world also came with this king. And that means, to me, someone who's going to be part of the next chapter of your life. Wow. Okay, I don't know. I do know. I don't know why I always say that. I don't know. I do know. Um, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right across the middle of the board and see if any other messages want to come out. Now is your time. Any other messages? There's a Ten of Wands again. King of Wands. Um, can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Sagittarius right there. Leo right here. And we don't have Aries on the board. Six of Pentacles. So clearly it's pointing out again something that was unbalanced. Beautiful Knight of Pentacles. Look at that, your guardian angel. And it's coming right at the spot where I felt like you had someone special um coming forward, a spiritual guide coming forward. Like, this is my specialty. Step aside all other spirit guides. This is my specialty. Knight of Pentacles is one of my favorite energies in the tarot because it's really the promise of, well, this knight brings in a pentacle. And anytime you see a pentacle, it's meant to come into your physical world. Like, this is something that's going to manifest in your physical world. I feel like it kind of feels like a karmic reward. But I love the Knight of Pentacles. I love the Knight of Pentacles no matter what, but I love it as it relates to your money because I feel like this is not a one-time thing. You know what it feels like when you find true balance? It feels like the world just opens up for you. But it starts with you and you staying compassionate and empathetic. Like, don't get rid of that part of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't put that on a back burner because someone else took advantage of it. There'll be plenty who won't. So I feel like this Knight of Pentacles is not only helping you in your money, but it feels like it's also helping you in your love. And boy, when I said I felt a guide, wow, to me, this is your guardian angel. And it feels like, honestly, like it's because you've had these realizations. It's because you've taken action steps, to end what's not working, to cut ties to who's holding you back, holding you down, coming in between you and a dream. And some of you, this may not even be a dream, but your interest gets piqued. Like your spiritual team, like puts something in front of you. Like maybe this is the first time you've ever watched tarot and you're like, oh, I really dig this. I might learn tarot. And then you do. And then you start a channel. And then you share it with us. And we help you grow and grow and grow. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. What a reading. What a reading. I feel with the Nine of Pentacles mirroring the Seven of Pentacles, to me, it feels like something you're doing that your soul really wanted to do in this lifetime. That's the one thing we got to remember. Our soul comes to this earth to learn, to grow, to evolve, to have experiences. And some seeds, I feel, our souls are able to plant before they come into this lifetime. It's almost like certain gifts were given to you before you're even born. And it's like you feel it, but maybe you've never put it into action. And now it feels like you are putting it into action. So I love the Seven of Pentacles mirroring the Nine of Pentacles for you. Truly. I even love the love that's happening in your future, but probably your near future. I kind of feel like that'll be up to you. I feel like if this king came in let's say, too early, it may take your focus off of what you're trying to produce. And that's why I feel like divine is like, you'll have love in divine timing. Just trust us with that. But trust yourself as it relates to your creativity. And that you really can have success. See yourself as successful. Listen to some of those meditations. Help open up those chakras. Help clear the past. And I feel like, and get excited for your future, Gemini. Get excited. It feels like it's bringing you real joy. And I think I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys. I always love doing your readings. And not because I'm a Gemini moon. Um, by the way, I want to remind people that, you know, your moon sign is your inner self. So it's always a good idea to watch your, at least your moon sign, um, to really understand what's going on within yourself. But other than that, I just want to say thank you. Oh, one more thing. I should have said this in the beginning of the video. So I'm doing that new podcast. It's not really new. It's called Beyond the Veil, Free Psychic Readings. Um, they're free for now. And what I've done is I am going to move that podcast. Well, this was my plan to move that podcast, not move it, but I started it on a place called Buzzsprout. I know it's not the most popular place, but they share it with like Apple and Amazon Music and all that. Um, and I am building up over there. So I was thinking about taking that podcast and having it exclusively on Buzzsprout and then doing subscriptions. But what I decided to do is do an actual membership program for YouTube, for you guys on YouTube, where you can ask me questions. And I'm going to do member only. Um, it's going to be a members only, which means I can spend a lot more time on questions, and I'll probably do them. Well, I'm going to do a few of them live each month. Um, and you can ask questions. Um, I'm going to try to do the videos at least bi-monthly or more. We'll see how it goes. Um, but again, some of them will be live. So that's one of the memberships I have. It's actually, I only have two. I have the thank you. And then I have the new one I started. And I am going to do one for teaching tarot, which I did start one, but I ended it because I got to think of a better way of doing it. But anyways, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is I am taking questions, and I'm not going to do it for much longer because I'm getting so many. Um, and I'm okay with that. So anyways, I will leave the link to the original post because that's where I'm taking the questions from, the original post. It'd be too hard for me to go to each video to see if anybody left questions. That's why I'm putting that link there. So, ask a question. Don't make it too long though. Um, and then you'll hear it in the Beyond the Veil podcast. So, anyways, long story short, that turned into a long story. Um, but I want to let you know that's available also. So, anyways, guys, I love you. I thank you. Godspeed as it relates to you creating this abundance for yourself and even this love. Like, I see your life changing, um, but in the best of ways. And I love how involved divine is in your life right now. Like, they really want you to take advantage of this energy. But it is your choice, of course. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.